Hello, today I'm going to talk to you about two different ways that you can use drag and drop database objects in Access. Now the first method that I'm going to use is to create desktop shortcuts, and you can do this very easily by just dragging an object from the navigation pane onto the desktop, and that's created a direct shortcut to that particular table. Here's another one to a linked table. It works also for any query or form. Report. Macro, or indeed module. Now this feature has been around since 1997 and it's known about by some people but not widely used. So what's the point of having it? Well, let's just close that database a second. If I now double click on the shortcut, it will take me directly not only to that database but to the table that I've actually used. Let's close that again. I could also, if I preferred, go to the design view. And the things you're seeing coming up first there are a start screen and so on. Now that will work, and this time I'm not going to close this completely. It will open the database each time I do so. A query. Query design is equally possible here, and you can print directly from there. Form. A report. Might help if I close that first there, and the module will work in exactly the same way. Let's just try opening the module. And that's opened on the other screen, but as you can see, it's opened the module from that shortcut there. Now, why would you actually want to do that? Well, if you are doing, let's say, a presentation, you might want quick access to a particular object that you want to refer to without having to open a database, scroll to the object and so on. So it's quite a useful feature. It's not something I use very often, but it's something that is occasionally very useful. But the second feature I think is much more useful, as well as being much less widely known about. Let's open a second database. Just move that to one side, and now let's use drag and drop again. Drag the table across. It's now appeared in the other database. It works for any object. Report. Query. You can of course do several objects at once. In this case holding the Ctrl key or holding the Shift key. I could actually do two consecutive ones together. That's come up there because I'd already copied one of those tables. Now, slightly more difficult if we want to do a linked table. If I drag that across, you will see that it's actually been linked, it's been transferred as a local table. That might be what you want, but it also may not be. I've tried doing all sorts of things like holding the Control key down, the Shift key down, various combinations, Windows key and so on. Makes no difference, it's always transferred as a local table. But there is a workaround. Say I don't want it to be local, so I want it to be linked. I'll do that with both of those again, but leaving the original ones there. Remember that dialog box that came up before? This time, because it's already there, it asks me what I want to do with it. I'm going to say link table, and I'm going to say link table again, and now you'll see that it's overwritten the local tables with link tables. Perfect. I've got all those objects, and I can do exactly the same thing with modules and macros, etc. Now that I think is a very useful feature. I first discovered it by accident 4 years ago, and it seems it's still not widely known. So therefore I'm publicising it in as many places as I can because I think it's a feature that could be useful for many people. But again, it's been around since Access 97. Why is it so poorly known about? Okay, back to my PowerPoint then. Let's just summarise what I've shown you. Two features that have been available since Access 97 but not widely known. First of all, Access object shortcuts on the desktop. Works for any database object, and provides quick access by opening the database directly to the object. And right clicking, as you saw, will allow you to choose whether you open the object in form view, datasheet view, design view, etc. You can also do quick printing by that method. More useful for me though is to transfer objects between databases, a much quicker way of importing from one database to another than the standard method used in Wizard. Again, it works for any database object, and it's much easier than importing or exporting in the usual way. But link tables, as I mentioned, do need some special treatment. Basically, do it twice, and the second time tell Access what to do with the transfer. Now, coming back to shortcut types, there are actually 10 in all. There's 11 in this list. There's one extra file that I don't know about here. Those shortcuts are, for example, for forms, they have a suffix .maf, Microsoft Access Form. For reports, .mar, you get the message here. Tables, MAT. Modules, MAD, because macros are MAM, etc., etc. As well as the list of 10 here, there's included in which there is a diagram shortcut, which I don't actually know what that does. You can do stored procedure shortcuts, view shortcuts, from both of which are from SQL Server. Data access pages, if you still have any of those, are also possible. There's also something called a .mau, a MAU file. I have absolutely no idea what that does. Anyway, I hope that you will find at least one of these two drag and drop features useful. Thank you for watching, and if you found it useful, as always, please add a like and leave a comment. Do suggest topics for future videos. I'll take into account any suggestions that I get. And please subscribe. You'll be notified when new videos are uploaded. Thank you.